Most entrepreneurs think you have to choose between building wealth and being present for your kids. I'm about to show you why that is complete BS. 2 years ago, I was drowning. I had a newborn and a toddler and a failing landscaping company. Yes, just a few months before, we had acquired a landscaping company and it was 100% going downhill. I was working 16-hour days just to stay afloat. I had a choice to quit my dreams and to become a full-time stay-at-home mom, or find a completely different way to build wealth. Today, that same home service business generates over $800,000 in revenue every single year. I have completely stepped away from the operations of the business, and my husband now oversees the operations remotely. And now my favorite part is that now I have enough time to work as much as I want to in my new business venture, which is my new passion. My kids get the best version of me, not the exhausted, irritated, resentful mom that couldn't follow her dreams and still be a mom. And I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. So let me just paint you a picture of how my life was 24 months ago. I was 30 and pregnant with my second child. My first child, he was just 1 year old. And again, we had just purchased this landscaping company and we had invested all of our savings and had gotten in debt just to purchase this company. That was supposed to be our ticket to freedom. And instead, it actually became our prison. We were scheduling crews at 6 a.m. I had a newborn crying in my arms and a toddler needing me pretty much 24 hours a day. At the same time, we were taking customer complaints, driving around town providing estimates. We were dealing with cancellations because the crew wasn't doing what they were supposed to be doing, sending invoices at midnight, taking those cancellations at dinner, sending those estimates at dinner. We didn't have a life. We were working 24/7 for this business. My husband would find me crying in the bathroom because I just felt so exhausted and so drained. I just felt like I couldn't be a mom and I couldn't work. I was tired from not feeling like I was present and could actually give my best to the business, and so that's the reason why I was failing. And I also couldn't be a mom because in my head, when my brain was actually in the business instead of actually enjoying my newborn and my son and both my sons and actually giving them the best side of me. The breaking point for me came on a Tuesday. When I'm feeding my newborn son, I have my toddler just crying and yelling and needing me and having a tantrum because he wanted me to be there and he wanted me to be present. And my husband is out with the crews trying to do the work because we couldn't find anybody to work and the employees had just decided not to show up. And I was at home with both of my kids. And I just received an email from an angry, frustrated customer that had just said that he was pissed off about the service we had provided. And so he had decided to cancel the account. It was a very large account. As I was trying to respond with my cell phone in one hand, I just completely broke. I was drained. I was tired. I was completely broken and exhausted. And at that moment, I looked at my baby and I knew that what was more important, the business or both my kids? The only time I had for my kids was today. It was right now. I could only enjoy them for the next 10 years because then they're gonna go off to their friends and their girlfriends and do other things with their life. And so my time with them was right now. And so that's when I decided that I knew I had to do something different. That is not the life that I wanted to give my sons, and that is not the mother that I wanted to be for my kids. And so there was no middle ground. I had to decide whether we would sell the business or unless we found something where the business would literally run on autopilot. That moment, I realized that I wasn't running a business. I was the business. My husband and I had become the bottleneck of the business. We were doing everything for it, from administrative work, customer service, sales, marketing. My husband was now even doing the work out there because he couldn't find employees. And so nothing would be more disappointing to me than to see my husband come home completely washed in dirt and all sweaty and exhausted and tired from spending a full day working outside with the crew because he couldn't find employees. And so the business that we had just acquired, gotten in debt and done all of these things to purchase because it was supposed to give us more financial freedom, it actually did the exact opposite. I mean, we had come from an e-commerce business that would allow us to work from anywhere we wanted. And so the last thing we wanted was to actually be working on the business and to have my husband be actually working in it and doing the hard labor. There's no better way to say this but to say that we had become the bottleneck of the business. And bottlenecks don't grow, they don't scale. We were stuck. And so in order for us to get out of it, we had two decisions. And we decided to just go back and reclaim our time and reclaim our freedom. So the first thing that we did was we listed the business for sale. Then we started documenting every single process in the business. And so I started recording everything that I would do, and I started understanding what were those tasks that I was actually repeatedly doing over and over again. And I hired a virtual assistant. I actually tested 5 different virtual assistants. Every phone call, every email, every decision, selecting every single accounting detail on QuickBooks. I spent weeks tracking my time and every single detail of my job, and what I found was actually shocking. 80% of my time was spent on tasks that could have been automated or delegated. Customer service, follow-ups, scheduling, estimates, all of it was repeatable. Systematic work that didn't really need my brain. I had been hearing about artificial intelligence and automation tools, and I thought they were for tech companies and for people that, they actually were extremely advanced. I was wrong. After failing to work with those 5 different virtual assistants for different reasons, I discovered platforms like Make, Retail AI, OpenAI, Airtable, and so many tools that could actually handle the exact problems that my business and that we were personally facing. We were drowning, guys, and so we had decided to change everything. We even put an operations manager in place to handle the things that were actually requiring human intervention. The first automation that I built was very simple. When a customer called, instead of interrupting my day and my time with my kids, an artificial intelligence agent would answer the call. It would qualify the lead and then schedule the lead for an estimate directly on my manager's calendar. It took me more or less 20 hours to set up, and it saved me those 20 hours every single week. Now, let me share with you the exact systems that transform my business from chaos to cash flow and to freedom. And you guys can literally copy this blueprint. So the first system was actually a lead magnet. Instead, we created an AI lead qualifier system. And so every time that someone calls or fills out a form, they actually interact with my AI agent first. The AI asks qualifying questions, it checks our availability, and it then schedules the estimate on my manager's calendar. Or it just filters out the tire kickers. We went from spending 2 hours a day taking phone calls and qualifying leads to spending 0 hours. The AI handles 90% of our customer inquiries and our leads inquiries, and my manager only sees the qualifying ones and only takes the time to speak with them. My husband and I, we don't speak with anyone anymore. We had a 300% increase in qualified leads, 80% reduction on missed calls and voicemails that we wouldn't return the calls to, and we don't really have to manage any of it. The second system would actually be our scheduler, and so it automatically schedules based on the crew's availability. It schedules a particular project through an automated system that considers, again, our crew availability. The system sends automated reminders to the customers, letting them know when we're going to be out at the property. And our crews know exactly what needs to be done on every single property. They know where they need to be, when they need to be there, and they know exactly what to do without us having to actually be there. This actually resulting in a 70% deduction of scheduling conflicts, a 50% decrease in no-shows or the customers canceling last minute, and it eliminated 15 hours of administrative work every single week. Now let's go on to system number 3, and this is the follow-up machine. This is where most businesses are actually losing money. We created an AI agent that follows up on every single estimate that we send out. It checks on the completed job and it asks for reviews automatically. The system has different sequences depending on the customer types, and new estimates get followed up on multiple times, and new estimates get followed up on via email, text messages, and even phone calls. Completed jobs get a link with a satisfaction survey in 1 week. And so we take those happy customers and we actually request them to leave a positive Google review. This actually resulted in a 45% increase in estimate conversions and a 200% increase in customer reviews. We recovered at least, I would say, $30,000 in lost revenue in the first 6 months. And so that takes us to system number 4, which is the feedback loop. And that's where we're encouraging those customers to leave a positive review on Google. And so it results in building that trust in Google so we get more customers and more leads. But that's not it. Whenever we have an unhappy customer, we actually send them over to file a complaint form so it sends it direct. So we're able to handle and identify issues before they actually escalate. But that's not all, because whenever a customer is actually not satisfied with the service, we send them that same link, which actually takes them to complete a survey. And so we are able to handle any issues, complaints, or inconveniences before they actually become problems. So again, we encourage our happy customers to leave a positive Google review, and the unhappy customer, it triggers an immediate action so that we can act fast and ensure that we handle this in the best way possible before it actually becomes a problem. This has increased a 90% customer satisfaction rate, 60% increase in referrals, and it has eliminated our negative reviews significantly. Now, the last system that I'm going to share with you guys today is called the Profit Maximizer. And I use this artificial intelligence analyzer to take a look at our data and find revenue opportunities. It looks for things that I would never see and I would never find. It's as detailed as to finding whether or not our crew has become more efficient or less efficient. It sees whether we are providing optimal pricing. It looks for trends on what the best projects are, the highest revenue, highest profit. The system tracks which services again are more profitable and which customers are the most valuable to our business, which makes marketing so much better because we can actually target the right customer for us. It's like having a business analyst that works for you 24/7. This has increased our project values by over 25%, and it has improved our profit margins significantly. Now, let me show you exactly what happened when I implemented these systems. Number 1, obviously our revenue increased significantly. But number 2, and the most important one, is time. I went from working over 70 hours per week to only working about 5 hours per week in our home service business. I now have the time to work in my passion, which is helping other business owners reclaim their time and reclaim their freedom through automations and AI, which is everything that I learned over the past 2 years. And my husband went from working the same amount of time to working about 20 hours per week remotely in a home service business. That's pretty unheard of. I'm not managing the day-to-day operations anymore. I'm focused only on the strategy and growth of the business. Now, the real win is when you look at my life overall. I am 100% present for my kids. So is my husband, because he really felt like he was missing out on our kids' growth. We're able to take our kids to swimming classes on Tuesdays, on Thursdays. We take them to tennis classes on Wednesdays. And I'm not stressed out anymore. I'm actually happy again. I'm not exhausted. I'm not resentful. I'm not irritated every single day at every single hour of the day because I just felt so tired and so overwhelmed by everything that I had in my hands. And I'm very confident and very happy because I know that I'm building wealth and I'm building the business that I want to, both businesses that I want to, while being the mom that I want to be for my kids and the wife that I want to be for my husband. Now, the best part of all is that I know the systems are actually fully scalable. And so our goal for the next 6 months is to actually train our manager, become a better salesman, and to increase his conversion rates and also to become a better leader. Because by having the right systems in place and actually increasing his skills and improving his skills to run the business and run the operations of the business, we know that we can actually grow exponentially over the next semester. And I know that this will run smoothly because our systems are already proven to work. Now, here's how you can implement this automations playbook in your business. Step number 1 would be to audit your time. First thing that you want to do is you want to track everything that you're doing for your business for one entire week. Every phone call, every email, every decision, text message, everything you do, you have to track it, write it on a notepad. You need to see exactly where your time is going. Step number 2 is going to be to identify the repeatable tasks. You want to look for patterns. What tasks are you doing the same way every single time? Those tasks are automation candidates. Step number 3 is to start with one system. Don't try to automate everything at once. It's important that you pick your biggest pain point and you automate that first. For me, it was lead qualification. Step number 4 is to test and refine. Your first automation won't be perfect, and it's important to remember that with AI, your AI is as good as you train it. And so some people think that, oh, artificial intelligence doesn't work or it's not ready there, but in reality, it's just that they didn't train it properly. You have to test it, you have to gather feedback, and you have to improve it. our first automations and our first AI agent didn't work as well as we expected it. But automation relies a lot on your creativity and your willingness to put in the work. Once one system is working, you can work on building your other automation stacks one piece at a time. If you follow this framework, you should be able to see results within 30 days. And look, guys, I know this might seem overwhelming. 3 years ago, I didn't even know what the word automation meant. But I was drowning, I was exhausted, and I was completely burned out. And I had to figure it out because there was no other way. And the truth is that you have two choices. One is that you can keep doing what you're doing, working harder, longer hours, missing your life, missing out on your family, or you can actually make the choice to build a business that works for you. I've created a free audit where I can actually work with you to analyze your entire business. You just have to click the link on the description and book the audit in my calendar. I will show you exactly where you're losing time and where you're losing money. And together, we're going to identify the biggest automation opportunities and give you an entire roadmap that you can actually implement. Now, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell so you can be notified when I upload a new video. I'm always uploading tips and tricks on how you can actually improve your business and how you can use technology to make your life better and to reclaim your time and your freedom. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.